So, guys, podcast is finally here. Hope you guys enjoy it. A quick thing in editing, I noticed Hades' audio's a little bit off. It's a bit low. Next podcast, next episode, we will boost his audio. I can't really do anything in editing. I've tried. Um, Also, his camera is on the way. He's had to use IV cam because the camera he bought came broken. Bit shit, but what can we do? So there are going to be fixes in the podcast. Things are going to change around. This is the first one, so I hope you guys enjoy and get the idea of what we were going for. And without further ado, I'll let you enjoy. So see you in the next one. Oh, let's start with your probe story, Hades. Just kidding. Just kidding. Just kidding. The truth is out there. Yo, do you think aliens are even real? Is the problem?
I mean, a lot of people do seem to think that there is. Honestly, if there is, I don't think that. I don't know. I don't think they would have any interest in us to us, and any interest into us just yet.
All right, next question. Now, these people who say they've been abducted, do you believe any of them were?
No. I mean, people can swear up and down one thing, and like when it comes to truth, it's a whole other story.
Okay, hypnotism. You can get hypnotized to find out what happened in your past.
Yeah.
What about the ones who still think they've been probed? Or not probed, abducted? Well, I mean, some of them were probed, let's be honest. So
I
do you,
mean, I don't even know because I think there's like a whole fucking branch of shit when it comes to hypnotism, and with hypnotism itself, I don't believe it. It's all like some sort of mind over matter because there's been a lot of magicians that has tried to like debunk shit like that. If I'm not mistaken.
yeah, but isn't that a different type of hypnotism, though? Isn't that suggestive hypnotism? Where the other one's regressive, where it pushes you back to what you think you saw, or what you. I don't want to say what happened, because it probably didn't happen, let's be honest. You know who Travis Walton is?
No.
He's a guy who claimed in 1975 that he was abducted by an alien. He saw a bright light. He was working as a logger in. Where was he working? I can't remember where he was working. But him and his crew saw a bright light in a tree. He went towards it. He got about 10 feet away and ducked down out of fear, then got electrocuted and woke up on a table with aliens looking at him. You think he's full of shit? There's a movie about it as well. Fire in the Sky is the movie.
Um, no. That I don't know. This is the first time I've actually hearing about it, but being the first time I've heard about it, like something being a lumberjack, I know for a fact that is not a safe job, like at all. Stress and like dealing with shit like that. Maybe something hit him really hard and thought he had an out of body experience.
So I can tell you a bit more about the story. So he was young. There's about 8 on the crew. They're between the age of 16 and 26, I think it was. It was part of the area they hadn't cut down yet, because part of their contract was to clear the area. They hadn't cleared this area. When they were driving back on dirt roads in a pickup truck, they saw this bright light. All of them saw it, but none of them thought it was weird at first. Because, there's lights. It could be a camper, it could be a fire going. As they got closer, they all sort of got nervous. He got out the truck and run towards it. He said it was really bright. All the hair on his arms and that was standing up, like when you're around static. got about 10 feet away, jumped down into like a little dugout part out of fear, got electrocuted, and then woke up on a table. The people in the truck said they saw something, and a couple of other them came out, but none of them know what it was. Now you'd think working in the woods, you'd know the difference between a campfire and a big ball of light going to electrocute somebody. There's no power lines, by the way, because it's just a wooded area. They haven't cut it down yet. Their contract is to clear it out to make roads and shit. So there's no power lines. So how could you've got electrocuted with no power line? And also in that area, geologically, it's the most active place for lightning. So could that be why the aliens are there for the power of lightning? Or is it coincidence and he got hit by lightning and blacked out? But he had no burns on him, is the weird part. You ever see someone hit by lightning? You can see it. He had no burns.
I mean, I personally think if anything like that, bro, evidently this says out of every 10 people struck, 9 will survive. They could suffer a variety of short and long term effects: dizziness, seizures, headaches,
And he had none of them.
memory deficiencies,
I mean,
personality changes.
but his story hasn't changed. Kind of like Bob Lazar's never changed. It's been consistent. He's never gone, oh, maybe that happened, maybe that. He's always been certain this is how it happened. And he hasn't changed it. And this happened in 1975. That's longer than I've been alive. That's more than 26 years of keeping the same story, never changing it.
I mean, maybe that's just what he thinks. I really don't know. I've when it comes to get hit by lightning or anything like that, I don't know. But if it's, I know there's places that are like geological, like just hot spots for what they think is what extraterrestrial people would be looking for. But in reality, what would we know what they would be looking for? The main things is like if you was coming from another planet, what's the first thing that you would look for? Like
Ores,
what
copper,
resources? Yeah,
iron,
what
uranium,
resources?
lead, and we have all them resources. Something to make
We
power,
do.
because power is the first thing you'd need to sustain life. People, they say it's water, but we need power now. How can we manufacture without power?
Pretty much.
But what's to say they came for any ores though? We put animals in a zoo. We look at them for a cage. Maybe they're doing the same with us, where they're just looking at us thinking, "Look at these fucking apes, dude. They don't know shit." Because if they've come to this planet, they're clearly further ahead than we will be in our lifetime. Maybe they're just looking at us like dumb
Yeah,
apes, dude. Because in reality, we're
thought
dumb
about it
apes.
like that. Thought about it like that. Just heard somebody say one time. I don't remember if it was from a movie or something that like all our universe could just be like a failed science experiment, just sitting on some kid's fucking mantle in another universe.
I mean, that kind of sounds like Rick and Morty with the battery.
That probably where I see it from, honestly.
More than likely. All right, what about Bob Lazar then? You know who Bob Lazar is. You know that story.
Vaguely, I know who Bob Lazar is.
So he claimed in the 80s that he worked at S4, part of Area 51, described the
Mm-hmm.
crafts, described biometrics before we had them. So it would be like a big scanner, you put your hand in it, measures the density of your bones and positions. We now know the scanners were a real thing. One of the UFOs he said he worked on, we're going to say said because we don't know, resembles the Tic Tac UFO that the US military released themselves, the footage for that. So was he full of shit? Or are we now realizing he was right and the government were just saying he was full of shit? Because he doesn't make money off this. Like, he goes on these talk shows and shouts Joe Rogan. He's been on Joe Rogan. He doesn't make money off it. And he doesn't it doesn't look comfortable talking about it, but he doesn't look like he's bullshitting you. You know when someone's bullshitting, they're sort of fidgeting, moving around. He's fixed. He doesn't change. Unless he's a psychopath. I say he's telling the truth.
I mean, yeah. Looking at some of this, I mean, looks like he does have viable proof to argue, but some would also say that he's probably has mental illnesses.
Yeah, but he's a genuinely smart man. Like he's not your usual I saw an alien in the middle of nowhere, everyone believe me town idiot. He's a smart man. He went to MIT. They tried to clear his records, but they found him in a phone book.
Oh yeah.
So he's a genuinely smart man. He's not like he's stupid and just trying to make people think he's clever. He really does have the attributes as a clever person. He put a rocket on a Honda Civic. He had a jet-powered Civic at one point. You know, you gotta have some level of brains to put a fucking jet engine in the back of your car.
I mean,
You can't
maybe
argue
it's
that.
always gonna be more fuel efficient. I don't know.
Well, it's never gonna be fuel efficient. It's jet fuel. But he's a propulsion expert. And if you're putting jet engines on the back of your car, you're not exactly stupid. I mean, I could put one on. It doesn't mean it'd ever work. I could probably lower it on, but there's no way I'd know how to fucking wire that shit up. People have tried to discredit him because he's got some criminal charges against him. Which all it is trade of illegal goods, so selling scientific equipment to non-scientific bodies.
Wait, is that illegal?
Yeah, because you need a license to get hold of certain materials, and he was selling them to people who didn't have that license. Same way you can't just order uranium; you'd have to be a scientific company to get it, because you can make explosives with it. But he claimed to have touched element 115, which in the 80s wasn't a thing. Element 115 didn't exist, but now it does. They can make it in a lab. They can't keep it stable for very long, but they can now make it in a lab. So things he was talking about in the 80s and 90s is now coming out true. So does that not make his story more believable?
I mean, yes and no.
Why no?
I don't know.
But if
I
he's
really can't give you an answer on why I would say no, but some things, when they add up evenly, there needs to be an answer somewhere.
yeah, but you could guess. You could make a guess of the lottery numbers, right? Does it? You might get it right. 2 numbers right. I'd say, bit of luck. 3 numbers, that's a bit more than luck. 5 numbers, and you get all of them. That's a bit suspicious. Everything he said now coming out to have been true when he said it in the 80s, and everyone said it can't happen. So why is it now coming out as true? Because you could make the argument he could guess one thing right. Let's say he guessed S4 was a real facility, which it is. Then he guessed element 115. Well, how would he know the name of it and then it come out with the same name and same properties? That's like winning the lottery and getting hit by lightning at exactly the same time. You're not going to strike out in one hit like he did. He nailed it. He claimed he was hired to work on an engine that nobody could work out why. How it worked. He had to work out how it worked. He had to back engineer it. Now, wouldn't you go with somebody who's nobody first? Like, you wouldn't go to a big research company or a government and say, look, we need help with this. You go to the crazy motherfucker who just put a jet engine on a Civic and be like, dude, fuck with this for us. If you blow yourself up, you're nobody. We don't have to worry about it.
I mean, yeah, it'd be easier, but see, was looking into like all the shit, like the unsolved mysteries, like he's known for all that shit. Man, it does look like it does add up, and it's one of them things that I can't really give an honest opinion because I don't know. I don't know if he's right. I don't know if he's wrong. Maybe he's right.
Okay,
Maybe.
I can help his story more. So he got fired for weird reasons. His wife was having an affair. They thought that would make him unstable, so they got rid of him. He took friends out to close to S4 when he knew test flights were being done and recorded them with people there. He knew the exact times, dates, and which way the crafts were going to be going to go out and film it on the right day at the right time. How would he get that sort of information? It's not like you had Google in the 80s. I can just go Google, where's Area 51? Is there aliens? Or when the military do testing of aircraft. Now you could probably find that information out quite easy because of WikiLeaks. He didn't have that. But he took him at the right time in the right place multiple times.
did.
Yeah, but how would you research that in the 80s? It's not like you could look at satellite images. We didn't have access to that. The government did, but we didn't even have good internet then, did we? It was dial-up internet at best.
Um, no, I don't know because some places do keep maps in local libraries during the 80s. Like you could get plans of everything, like especially like
Yeah, but government facilities
residential
you couldn't.
plan. No, not like that, but you'd be able to tell like if somebody's fucking if they live close to there, you'd be able to tell.
Yeah, but the flight
Um,
paths, though. How do you know the flight paths of the test crafts?
if somebody lives by there, you'd be able
Uh,
to go around there and ask them questions, man.
There's an exclusion zone. It's in the mountains. There's no residential area close to it. It's a government testing facility, as far as we know. It's definitely aliens, but it's a government testing facility. It's going to be guarded, ain't it? You couldn't just walk up to Area 51 and be like, "Yeah, I'll come to have a look, dude. I got a film crew with me. No, just pretend we're not here." You're not even getting close. As soon as they see your vehicle, they're onto you.
Didn't wasn't there a like massive protest at one?
Oh, what raid Area 51?
Yeah,
Yeah, that was a petition on Facebook where apparently millions of people signed up for it, but no one turned up. Raid Area.
they can't. Yeah, it's a storm Area 51. They
That was
can't
it.
stop
Stalled.
all of us. It's an American Facebook event.
And the few people that turned up all got arrested before they even got close. You can get to the barrier where
I
it says
mean,
"Do not enter." That's as close as you're allowed to get before they turn up.
it says 150 people, main event participants, 7 arrests.
Yeah, but none of them got close, did they?
I wouldn't assume so, mainly because if it is a military base, they're fucking very strict on security.
Well, yeah.
Like what?
Even if it's not aliens, it's a secure facility. You're not allowed in without very high clearance.
Yeah,
So they're not just
I
going to let
mean,
a group of fucking idiots off Facebook go and have a look. I mean, I say they should, because imagine fucking with them would be so fun. Just walking
some of the
around,
pictures
just
from
keep
this
going to them.
event,
Shh, aliens around the corner, dude. Don't wake them up. I'd fuck with them, dude.
some of the pictures of events got people running around like Naruto, or how do you
Yeah, I
say
saw
that?
them. That was
I
bad,
don't.
dude.
It is bad.
All right, so to back Bob Lazar up again, the U.S. military released some footage of UFOs, right? Our fighter jets. One of them was the Tic Tac UFO, which would go from 80,000 feet to about 5 feet instantly. How? What the fuck is that? No human could sit in that and do that. No matter what technology you had, inertia would kill you. Your organs would compress at that speed. You've seen the damage a 300-mile-an-hour car crash can do. If you're dropping that quick and stopping instantly, you're vaporized. And its heat signature was colder than the ocean. If something's moving, it generates heat because of friction. How is it colder than the ocean?
I mean,
Explain
aliens
that,
are
Mr.
aliens.
Conspiracy Theory.
Aliens, I don't know. Maybe it was Bigfoot trying to get home.
In a UFO. I
I
mean,
don't know, man. I just seen the video and it does kind of look weird.
so they were tracking it. Apparently, everybody on the carrier knew about it, but was told thought it was best not to say because it could ruin their career. If you're a high level pilot and you go, I think there's UFOs, they're gonna look at you a bit weird. Two of them went out to track it. They had a rendezvous point predetermined that the pilots knew of. So when they saw it, they lost sight of it. So they were told, carry on to your rendezvous point. When they got there, the craft was there waiting for them, like it already knew where they were going. That was a predetermined. It's not like they interfered radio signals. They knew of it before they got in their planes to go up, because it's a training exercise. So how did it know where they were going?
See, it looks like it's traveling pretty damn fast as well.
See, the speed of it isn't what makes me wonder what it is. It's the fact it's colder than the ocean. The ocean are probably about 6 degrees at that point. anything moving. Let's say it was a bird, because a lot of people said it could be a bird. The bird would be hotter than the fucking ocean, or it would be dead. It would die of hypothermia if it's at 6 degrees. Warm-blooded animals can't drop to 6 degrees and be fine about it. You'd be dead. So how is something moving through the air, which would generate friction, which is why when spaceships re-enter, flames happen, gets a bit warm. How is that still
Yeah,
colder than the ocean? And in the middle of the ocean, it's never going to be warm. On the hottest day, hottest time of the year, it's only going to be about 6, 7 degrees. That's a lot of water to warm up.
this video that they're showing, like I don't know if it's just a camera, but like when they zoom into it, it's like I don't know.
Are you on about? Are you looking at the Nemitsa encounter or the Tic Tac one? There's two.
Um, it's just some videos from the Pentagon.
One
Like,
that's a FLIR
yeah,
camera, yeah. If it's the FLIR one, you can see the heat, and it's 40 foot long, white oblong shaped, hence the Tic Tac hovering somewhere between 15,000 feet, 24,000 feet in midair, exhibiting no notable exhaust for conventional propulsion, even as it makes a surprising dart left in the video's final moments. Of the 3 UFO incidents captured by the US Navy airmen via infrared gun camera pods. So the pods they use to track missiles or track a target. The words footage remains unique for its lack of crosstalk between the pilot. The fact that has led some to speculate about its authenticity. So it was just hovering as well. 15,000 feet to 24,000 feet. Do we have a plane that can hover with no
um,
exhaust?
no, I think the Hydra. I'm not exactly sure. I'm not a plane person,
The Hydra can
but
hover, but it can't stay perfectly stable. It has to move back and forth to keep stable.
that's more of a VTOL thing, though. Like I can't
Yeah, but
really.
it'd still have to sway slightly, wouldn't it? It wouldn't be fixed because air, wind, everything could slightly tilt it. This wasn't moving, and it had no exhaust. So when they looked at it through the infrared gun camera, so the one that they tracked targets with, it couldn't keep a lock on it, and it gave off no heat. Mr. US military lover, how the fuck can't your guns target it or track it?
I'm not there, so I can't tell you.
Because you can't jam infrared either. It's not like radar. You can jam radar pretty easy. Infrared's
I'm not
just heat signature.
sure. I'm not sure if you would be able to, but I'm almost positive there's certain things that is done with specific types of military vehicles that does make it kind of deflect the idea of it, but not jamming.
But you'd still see heat though, wouldn't you? Because it'd dissipate.
You'd, I don't know.
So,
Theoretically, yes, you would see the heat because of one propulsion systems, and two, like everything just going so fucking fast. But I can't really think of anything.
so
I don't know.
I know you can block infrared. So how they use FLIR cameras, and it's glass because it's reflective. It just shows a shiny surface. But you can't do that moving. You can't have a craft made out of glass, and you just with your eyes you'd see through it. You'd know it's a bit weird. It's glass. Also, glass going at them kind of speeds would probably just implode. I mean, you can buy a UV protected umbrella on Amazon, but I don't think I'd attach that to a spaceship anytime soon.
I don't know if this is correct, but any electrical conductive material will block infrared radiation. The greater the conductivity, the greater the blocking. For instance, food wrapped in aluminum foil, since the aluminum foil is high conductive metal, it would kill an infrared radiation.
Yes, what they're saying about the metal is because it's reflective. Because infrared relies on a beam going forward and coming back. If it's reflective, it'll distort the beam. But for tracking it, the
Yeah,
pilots couldn't see it with their eyes either. It was moving that quick. So even if they were masking it with, crumpled up metal around to deflect the signal, they'd see it with their eyes, wouldn't they? That's metal. It's moving this way. And also, how long could you keep crumpled metal crumpled going at them speeds? It would flatten itself off at the front. Just because of air resistance. In space, there's no air resistance, so it would work fine. But as soon as you hit an atmosphere, it'd bend in. Have you seen the front of a spaceship when it re-enters? Front
yeah,
of
it does.
it
I
gets
think some of them do take
fucked.
damage.
Yeah, they get fucking destroyed. There's there's another one that the US let out, weren't there, for a UAP? Wasn't the Tic Tac? I think it's a Nimitz case. But do you find it weird though that we've always been told aliens can't be real, they're not real, don't be stupid, only an idiot would believe in this. Now the US government and probably other governments around the world are going, yeah, there's these things in the sky. We don't know what the fuck they are. Sleep well tonight.
I mean, they had that whole scare for the Battle of Los Angeles at one point.
Where they thought they saw spaceships and all of them shot in the sky. I
Yeah.
know this story.
Um, I,
Tell the story,
Sometimes
because people
people.
might not understand it. Tell the story.
Let's see.
Mr. The
Um,
reason Hades mentioned Bigfoot earlier, by the way, but it's because he kind of looks like Bigfoot, don't you think, with that beard? He kind of looks like Bigfoot.
oh, so the Battle of Los Angeles was known as the Great Los Angeles Air Raid. It was given by that name by conspiracy theories and sources that rumored around that there was an attack that was supposed to be happening by Japan at that time. I guess they were all underneath a scare. So the first thing they seen initially was what they saw was some kind of light moving at very high speeds in the sky. So they actually started tracking it with the lights on the ground because like I said, they were in the midst of thought that they were fixing to be attacked by the beginning of what we would thought was going to be our entry into World War II at that time, I guess. But when they did it, uh, it actually what it turned out to be was what do they call them?
Like a weather
Like a
balloon.
blimp. What would you say?
Like a
A weather
weather
balloon?
balloon.
Yeah, well, a blimp or whatever
But do
you
you
want to
believe
call
that, though? I don't. Because they all shot. They
it.
shot anti-air rounds into the sky. If there's a blimp, that's a big target to hit. I don't shoot guns or anything. I reckon I could hit a blimp if I could see it that well with my eyes and track it. It's not.
Yeah,
It's not like it's a small target.
the amount of rounds that they probably put into it, somebody would have fucking hit it because leading targets in like that at night would be like it's the tracers and all that shit, especially in that time. It would have been a cool thing to see, but it would also, as somebody would, it says, would bring a lot of conspiracy theorists along. But in my eyes, if say we was out there and we seen that shit, I'd probably start questioning some things.
So I've just looked it up. 1,400 anti-aircraft shells weighing 5.8
Yeah,
kilograms each to 12.8 pounds were shot at it. Nothing came down.
nah, not that I can see. Like, but at the end of the day, somebody gave that order, and somebody seen something that like people on the ground couldn't see. I mean, maybe they were looking through like a sky. I don't know what you
But
call
was
it.
it a
A
panic
fucking
shot? Did one person get
no,
really
no, no, no,
nervous?
no, no. Somebody for all of them to fire line like that. Somebody probably gave the order.
Yeah, but remember,
Like
there's
a
a lot of
panic shot.
fear. There's a fear that you're about to get bombed in the war. You don't know what's going to be in the sky. Did fear take over? So whoever gave that order, did fear kick in for them? Did they
Oh
think
hell
they
yeah.
saw something,
Oh hell yeah.
panicked, agreed, shoot the fucking thing down, but there's nothing there?
Yeah,
Because
I definitely think that could have happened.
if it was a blimp with 1,400 anti-aircraft shells going into the sky, you're hitting that blimp whether you're a good shot or not. Someone's hitting that blimp. It's
Yeah,
a large target. One of them should have hit it, and one of them will bring a blimp down. It's an anti-aircraft. shell. It's not going to just scratch it or bounce off. It's going to go straight through. That thing's coming down. But nothing was found.
I don't know, like the pictures that you see of it, there's blatantly something there. Like they're firing on something.
So, does that
But
lead?
if you
It
see
could
the
be a
rounds,
spacecraft.
but look, if you look at the rounds and the way they're like passing through that motherfucker, it doesn't really seem
Like anything would
to,
survive.
yeah. But you
Which
can't tell because of the way it's lit up.
which means, could it have been something intelligent enough to know it's getting shot at, which we didn't have access to then? Was it something that was trying to give a signal? Because there's been reports of UFOs going over power plants and where nuclear weapons are stored and shutting systems down as if to say, you're still powerless. There was one in Russia that was shut down. There was two in somewhere in the United States that was shut down, completely shut down, lost all power. They couldn't have been launched while something was in the sky. As soon as that disappeared, they all came back on, as if to say the aliens were going, I see what you've got, but it's still not going to help you.
See, here's an article right here I found on it. From the San Angeles, I guess it would say San Angeles Times. When that happened, everybody literally like started firing random places. Like there's an article right here with this dude just standing next to his car where his neighbor stepped outside and like started shooting at it himself. So if that's the case, like I don't know how true this article is. Just it's something that pulled up in a National World War II Museum blog. Um, but if a random citizen's gonna do that,
They've
bro, then
seen
that might be,
something.
yeah, bro. Like there's more evidence that's being pointed towards something
Yeah.
else.
I'm not saying there was nothing
Which
there. I think there was something there, but I think it was smart enough not to get hit.
and then there was people that were arrested on that day. Like, what do you put in the arrest log? Like when you arrest people like that?
Crazy person shooting a gun off randomly. That's the only thing you could put it down to. Unless you got proof something was in the sky and the police know it or the government know it, the military know it. All you can do is put crazy person shooting a gun. What were you shooting at? I saw a spacecraft. Instantly crazy. He could have seen it.
So this
Clear-
is saying people actually went out there and collected the shells from it. They're saying that there could have been pieces, but with everybody scattering out there trying to grab shit, like nobody has like
yeah, but
found stuff.
you
This
think
shit's
they'd have some
it's so
track on it.
small, it's hard to read somewhat.
You think they'd have some track of it though. In a war, if you take down any, let's say it was a blimp, you took down a blimp in Los Angeles, someone's got notice of where that shit's going. You've already got soldiers there.
Oh yeah,
Surely
they
you
would have been.
take that shit. You wouldn't let
They would have
civilians
been.
take it.
I'm pretty sure they would have been like a quick response force of
Yeah.
some type, and like they would have went there as soon as possible.
But the weird part
If
is
not for safety, just to make
the
sure.
data, intel. See what it
Oh
was, how they built it,
yeah,
what it's made of. But the fact soldiers shot at it and civilians, and they wouldn't have been communicating at that time. It wouldn't have been like everyone shoot now. It wouldn't be like on a megaphone. Somebody has to have
no.
seen something. If people in different places are shooting at this thing, there had to have been something there. If it was a blimp, you could take a blimp down easy. With the size shells they had, that blimp would be gone. You'd have shot that out pretty quick. And I'm going to assume that they were reasonably on target. They weren't just randomly firing just in hope of hitting something. There had to have been some form of coordination. Like, there's your target, shoot. It's not just everyone. Fuck it, everyone have a shot. See if you hit it. Whoever hits it, $10. It's gonna be more
Like
coordinated.
all these headlines, these articles, Army says alarm was real. Little damage done by enemy raids.
Yeah, there's a total of
Like,
$500 damage done to the city from that.
yeah, that's what I was about to say. What got damaged though?
But think of it. That's only equivalent to $8,000 today.
Yeah, but
That,
what could have got damaged though? Like, did they just break some
well,
shit in hysteria?
well, no. Let's say so. These crazy people were shooting as well, weren't they? Civilians were shooting.
Oh yeah,
So
yeah, yeah,
damage to
exactly.
property, damage to vehicles, resources.
Yeah, I got you.
$500 is, or now 8,000, isn't a lot of damage. You
But
just,
the fact that that article considered it a raid though,
but we don't know what raided it. That's
air
the weird
battle
thing.
rages over Los Angeles, L.A. area raided.
But the problem is though, we don't know what it is. I could
Yes,
tell you,
but with
you could make an argument saying it's a blimp, and they somehow missed every shot. But I'd make the argument they're trained to shoot at these things out the sky. They're not going to miss a blimp. Blimps don't go fast. Blimps we have now don't go that fast. You could track it with your eyes pretty easy and probably hit that. Shoot slightly ahead, it's gone. With that many trained people who were their job was to protect the skies, they're not going to miss a blimp. If they are, America had no chance of ever hitting a target again. If that's how bad their shot was. If over, what was it, 12,000 was shot up and not one of them hit,
I mean,
you might want to rethink your whole army at that point. Because that's, one, a big waste of money if no one can hit. Two, not very safe, is it? It makes you think that, don't it? If trained people shot that many up and nothing was ever hit, rather they're really bad at shooting and blind as fuck, or someone panicked. Or aliens. I'm going with aliens, because aliens sound way more fun than everybody missing. That, and I'd hope the American army did a little bit more practice at shooting at shit before giving people very big guns. And you know, I'm right. That's the problem. You'd think they'd
yeah,
train them a bit better to actually hit a target.
no, they train them up, bro. No, they train them.
Yes,
They,
that's what I'm saying. So
they
why
train
did
them
they
up.
miss? If it was a blimp, why did they miss if they're trained? A blimp doesn't move fast. I don't shoot guns. I reckon I could hit a blimp. I don't think it'd be
If
that
I'm not
hard.
mistaken, like most like World War II, like 1940s, most of that shit was learned like ground warfare because they were trying like mostly fixing to go into the European theater and the Pacific theater at the same time.
Yeah, but these people that shot it were working on the anti-aircraft cannons. Surely they should know how to hit an aerial target with them.
I mean, yeah, but that honestly, I couldn't answer that question because I'm not. I never really got into that
No,
side of
no, but
the
look at it from like a simplified way. If you're practicing shooting a gun at a moving target, you're gonna get good at hitting that moving target.
Oh yeah,
You're not
yeah,
gonna
yeah.
practice shooting at the sky to try and hit somebody on the ground.
I mean, I see what you're saying because they'd be drilled constantly.
But aerial targets,
Yeah,
and that's a lot of shells to hit nothing.
maybe like in one of them circumstances, a dude was like, "Hey, let's there's something up there, fire some rounds," and then like it got lost in transmission somewhere, and everybody just started letting rounds off.
Yeah, but they couldn't afford to just let rounds off. That was the problem.
If it was an invasion, they were waiting for an invasion. That spooked the shit out of people. One person, you see me over here in a section on the right side, and you see me firing. You're probably automatically going to turn your weapon and start firing too for just like because cover fire, like getting
Yeah, but
rounds
how
off.
did what over 1,000 anti-air rounds get let off in a panic? You think basic training, listen to orders, don't just shoot. Yes, a lot of your
Yeah,
training fucks off when you panic and adrenaline kicks in. But that many rounds before
when,
someone said, you know what,
when
maybe
those things
stop?
when those things do come up, man, it's like an air raid type thing. Like an air raid probably went off, and like the whole thing was probably like what do they call it? They were just scrambling. They're scrambling on the
Panic
military
shooting.
base.
Panic
I
shot.
mean, yeah, pretty much.
But on the other hand, it could have been something. Just because nothing was hit doesn't rule out the possibility there wasn't something. If Bob Lazar, because Bob Lazar said some of these UFOs were found in archaeological digs, yeah? Which means they're fucking old. That means there could have been one up there at the same time. If some of the spacecraft that are supposedly at S4 Area 51 are from archaeological digs, they could be dating back 1,000 years. That's archaeological dig. Which means aliens could have been up there. Because who says they don't monitor all of our wars? Let's say aliens are waiting for us to stop being stupid apes. Learn to work together, stop fighting each other pointlessly, and stop doing dumb shit. They could just be monitoring our progress. The same way we look at chimps and think, he's using tools now. He's learning to understand emotions now. They're sharing, they're helping each other. Maybe they're just waiting for us to get past a point. Because the way humans are going, we've got two options. We're going to kill the planet or we're going to kill each other first. Maybe they're waiting for that point where we realise That's not what we should be doing. So maybe they're monitoring wars, seeing what kind of technology we had at the time. Because a war is a great way to find out what technology humans have. Because you're going to put
It
your
is.
best of the best in the sky, your best of the best in the ocean, best of the best running at things.
It is, but at the same time, the best theory I've ever heard behind that was the creator of Star Trek, Gene Roddenberry, had the theory. He even made it into the movie Star Trek: First Contact. Now, don't get it wrong. Like, I've watched all types of shit, and some reason, just that kind of like stuck in my head. Like his theory was, there was an alien race. I don't remember who it was, but at one point, human
Dothraki.
history.
That's a good
Uh,
reference for you, isn't it?
yeah, I mean, might as well be. But at one point in human history, a dude invented like the first warp core, and he was able to do it on a test flight. And when he was able to achieve um, space travel at a certain distance without needing any assistance or whatever, they like was like, oh, okay, they're actually putting forth effort into like
Better
seeing
in their
what's out.
species.
Yeah, like they're like no longer being small minded and like trying to destroy shit over something that just so small.
This is the problems with humans. We don't want to work together. I don't just mean like one person to one person. I'm on about globally. We don't really. If the US government are working on something, not every other country's gonna be like, "We'll help you with this. This looks like a good idea." We'll be like, "I'm gonna beat you to it because then I'm better than you."
Global race.
Yeah, that's the problem. Everyone wants to be better than somebody. Everybody wants to be, "Oh, I'm better than you because I did it first."
Like the whole space travel thing, who's gonna make it to Mars
Yeah,
first and all that stuff. Which also brings up another theory I was thinking about. Somebody told me not too long ago Russians actually made it to Mars.
I've heard this as well, and it kind of makes sense. So the reason I say it makes sense, you remember when Russia and America were trying to get to the moon first? America did it, and Russia seemed to not care. Yeah, maybe because the moon wasn't their actual target. Why would I care that you got to the moon if I've gone further than you and got to Mars already? Why would I care? You wouldn't, would you? If
Uh,
let's say me and you were racing to get the furthest distance, you said, "Oh, I hit the moon today," and I've just hit Mars. I'm like, I could not care. I'm already ahead. That's kind of how the Russians' attitude was towards America landing on the moon. They didn't say it's fake or no, you didn't do it, which everyone thought would have been the easier option. No, you didn't do it. You bullshitting. It's staged. They were like, okay, well done. Like they didn't care. Like they're already past that point.
so according to this, it took 7 missions for them to get it up. And it says from the 1960s to 1973, they had a Mars program throughout the Soviet Union that also has sent a probe, part of the Zond program, which I think they said this one failed. Zond 2, however, no, Zond 2 failed. And after the two that was, they call them the probes program. The next two are the ones who actually made it to Mars. So
You're on about
Mars
Phobos
landed a
1 and
Soviet.
Phobos 2, the ones
Is
that
it
failed.
Phobos?
Yeah,
Yeah, I was trying to read it, but it's small in this little article.
yeah. If you're on your PC, do Control and scroll wheel up. You can zoom in.
It's a paper article. I got scrolled in. It's
Okay.
super small. It's just an article from like somebody clicked from something.
So from what I gathered by the Russians being on Mars already, they have equipment there. There's something else there. Which I mean, the Nazis had a base in Antarctica that no one knew about straight away. You know, it's possible. Elon Musk, a commercial company, is trying to put people on the moon and Mars. What's to say Russia didn't beat us to it?
I mean, according to this, there's several countries trying to put manned missions on Mars. Currently, Russia, China just sent a probe. I guess it wasn't recent, but they've sent their first Mars missions out.
Well, Mars is the obvious one, isn't it? It's the closest to us for planets. The moon obviously doesn't count as a planet; it's a satellite. It's the closest one. It has resources. It has iron because of its orange color, iron oxide. So it has resources we need.
Yeah, but what do you think if you're trying to? I mean, I guess if you could put civilization on Mars, it would be a good branch point to start.
But it would be a very
But
bad idea.
yeah, like don't it? Yeah, don't take like thousands of years for a planet to terraform.
You
Like
could.
not even thousands of millions of years.
They reckon if you use all nuclear power plants and have a lot of them, you can do it in about 100 years. But that's not the problem.
That's not good either.
Well, no, nuclear radiation's bad for you, but it's pretty radioactive already because it's got no atmosphere. The problem is people can't live on Mars and then ever come to Earth because gravity would kill them. Your bones aren't strong. It's a
Yeah, I mean
third less gravity.
it would take substantial damage on human body, which
Unless you
would
put
mean
carbon rods into your body to support your bones, which is going to be a very painful procedure, and I don't even think you could do it. Your bones would compress too quickly.
okay, saying that at first, no, like people would have a hard time, but through the centuries of people being there, eventually, um, what would you call that? Evolution have to start kicking in somewhere.
Yeah, but
Like,
the problem is, if you lived on Mars, not everybody would keep coming back to Earth to feel the effects of gravity. So the generations that are born on Mars will have weaker bones because they won't have the same muscle mass because you don't need it to keep yourself upright. There's less gravity, less work on your body. Your organs become weaker because there's less pressure. As soon as you then bring them to Earth, the pressure's tripled because it's 3 times the gravity would be on Mars. Your heart wouldn't be able to pump blood because it'd be too weak. Your bones would crumble. Even if people kept coming back and forth, there wouldn't be enough constant access to both for humans to adapt. You'd have to be able to. It'd be like stepping into a room. Here's 1/3 gravity. Here's full gravity, and keep jumping back and forth every day. You wouldn't be able to do that. Even if we had amazing spacecrafts, just getting that amount of people back and forth every day would be impossible. Plus fuel cost. Fuel's not cheap. That's why we don't send a lot of shit to space.
but why is everybody targeting Mars though?
Because Mars used to have life on it like Earth. They think it's the big brother to Earth. Because remember, they think something hit Earth, which made the moon. Could be Mars. They say Theia originally, the mysterious planet. More than likely, it was Mars, because Mars shares a lot in common with Earth. Its ground, what it contains, iron, sulfur, things like that. It pretty much mirrors Earth, but without an atmosphere. So if Earth lost its atmosphere, it'd look like Mars. All the iron oxide would come to the top. Everything would be dead. They think it was the same. Doesn't it make you wonder what happened to Mars to fuck it up so bad?
Several things could have happened. Natural catastrophes. Same thing. They hit the dinosaurs. Could have destroyed that shit.
Yeah, but
But
the thing that hit the dinosaurs, we still live on that thing. We're still on this planet. Perfectly livable.
one point, it wasn't.
Yeah, but doesn't that say that if Mars mirrors Earth, shouldn't it have gone through the same regenerative process? It has the same options. It has ice. It has water.
Maybe it was hit with a bigger mass. Maybe it was hit in the right spot. Maybe like say when the meteor hit the dinosaurs, maybe it was smacked right onto a volcano, or what do they call the fault line? Did you
Yeah,
know how like if the U.S. got the San Andreas fault line? Like,
yeah. But to fight your opinion, Earth didn't look this way when the dinosaurs were wiped out. We was one big
true,
continent.
true.
So wouldn't it have done the same to Mars? It has less gravity. Wouldn't the meteor technically have less impact because it wouldn't be sucked in so quick by its gravity? The reason things hit Earth so fast is because of our gravity. It has less gravity, less impact.
I mean, yeah.
It way less.
Hmm. So
I broke your
that is
theory.
no, that's a good thing. It's a good thing. But my question is if there was something there, eventually over time, what would happen to all of the metal? What would happen to everything else though?
I have a good
Like
answer for this. I have a good answer.
if there was a civilization on there, there
It'd be
should be
gone.
some life.
Nope. Anything metallic would have eroded by now. Same way metal rusts here, it'd rust quicker because they've got less atmosphere and the nuclear rays coming from the sun would destroy it. Concrete buildings, or what we know as concrete buildings, wind would destroy them because of the sand. Same way it did with the pyramids, that's why they had to be refinished. Over time, it would wear down.
But that's not the only things that happened to the pyramids that
Well, no, a lot of it was stolen, but you know,
yeah.
I'm British, I can't talk about stealing things. But it'd all disappear. You can say, what about life on there? Wouldn't there be bones? No, it's calcium. Calcium dissolves. If the ground had acid in it, like ours does, it could have had a higher pH or lower pH, whichever way around it works, and it'd dissolve them. If I bury a body, how many years is it going to take for them bones to disappear?
Good wow, but like if you look at pictures of Mars, bro, it literally looks like it looks like it gets shit on a regular basis. Like craters.
A lot of them
I
craters
don't
are old,
know
though.
how. Uh, do we know that?
Yeah, the depth of them, and we have rovers on there monitoring it. The Earth used to get hit by a lot of meteors as well. There's a big site in America. Where is that? You know that one that's like 6 miles long? Big crater,
And
USA. I've put in crater. How do you spell crater? Without the E, I think. Close enough. Uh, Northern Arizona. You seen the size of that one?
no,
It's fucking huge. It's bigger than a city. There's one that you can walk in or walk around. Crater in USA. What's that one? Why does it give me a catering company? I put cater. Crater.
um. So here is a correction. I looked back in my messages, and here's where he was arguing with me about it. He says the Russians claimed they actually landed a man on Venus, and it wasn't Mars. That
Venus would
didn't
kill
think
you.
could be possible. Like you would
Uh,
fucking die instantly.
Venus temperature. 900 degrees Fahrenheit, 475. Your blood would boil
You'd
quicker.
yeah, you'd boil instantly. You'd step out and you'd boil inside the suit instantly.
So it's hot enough to melt lead. So to melt lead, we use oxyacetylene, which gets to about 1,000, and it's only just melting it. Yeah, you'd be dead. No type of
They
insulation that we have would protect you.
now are going to retort to his argument, which they did actually send a probe to Venus,
Yeah, we
but
crashed it
as
into Venus. It didn't last long.
yeah, theirs didn't last longer either because from 1961 to 1984, they sent two up there. One didn't make it, and the other one smashed. It was I cannot pronounce that the Venera VENERA program.
The Venera.
Venera program developed by the Soviet Union.
Venus's gravity is less than Earth, so gravity you could survive because it's only 91% of Earth's, but the temperature would kill you. Your craft wouldn't even land; it'd be melting before it touches the ground.
I don't even think your craft would even like make it to the ground. You'd probably burn completely just vaporize an atmosphere.
Depends how well insulated. You do layer, leave a big air gap layer. You could probably get it to touch the ground, but it wouldn't last longer than a couple of hours because air's a good insulator. So if you just put voids in it, get it there, but do anything. You wouldn't be able to go out and explore. Like, you wouldn't be able to send a probe. Nothing would last long enough. Because remember, our probes are nuclear powered. It just disintegrate. Too much heat. I mean, Mars, I believe. I believe Russia's got to Mars. Because they were so calm about America getting to the moon that, like, they didn't care. Like, well done, you've done something that we could have done 10 times over. Was their attitude towards it. Whether that was them just trying to act cocky or act like they didn't care because they were working on something else, or maybe they did aim for Mars first. It'd make more sense. Why would you go to a satellite when you had the technology to get to a planet? Wouldn't you want to be the first to the planet?
Yeah, I mean, I would be.
So you could make the argument, why isn't it? Why doesn't everybody know about it? Maybe they don't want people to know what they've got on Mars yet. Because why would I show you all my cards when I could show you a couple and convince you otherwise?
See, here's another thing that makes it so interesting about space travel and mix it up with a little bit of theory. So, paleo contact. You ever heard of it before?
Somewhat.
Paleo contact is literally I think you would call it. I guess it would be a manifest that a dude wrote. His name was Matthias August. He wrote the book Paleo Contact, or what we would know as Ancient Astronaut. He was a Belarusian mathematician. I guess you would call that, yeah, mathematician. Um, my thing is maybe that's why people started like going towards Mars because of the thought of ancient astronauts and like early day humans and civilizations making contact with people from other worlds that could have possibly been, which like leads to the theory of like how Egyptians knew about the what was that hieroglyph that you showed me the
UFO
other
and
day?
helicopter.
That, and not only that, there was a man in a suit that looked just like what we would know an astronaut suit.
That was in. I think that was in a monastery, which wouldn't make
I mean,
sense because religion doesn't believe in space travel because God created Earth or whatever God they believe in. But you know what's weird about the pyramids? They're older than we think by a long shot. Because you can't carbon date stone because there's no carbon. It doesn't work like that. It has to be living. Also, there's 300 years missing history after a war. So the pyramids probably weren't built by the people who claim to build them. Because if I've just beat you in a war, all your landmarks, my people now built because you are insignificant. I've just beat you. So if I'm right, history books are wrote by the victor.
pretty much.
So if I let's say I took over Egypt because Egypt was attacked a lot. A lot of their shit's everywhere. I wouldn't write, oh, they built these pyramids, then we beat them in a war, now we took them. No. My people built them pyramids because I own this land. And that's why we don't know how they were built because they had to destroy all writings of how it was built because then it would point to the fact they didn't build them, they invaded.
All right, I like that.
It makes
Check this
sense.
out. It does make sense. But just like let's say Greeks, Romans, Egyptians were known to keep very um,
Particular diaries.
not only that is they like to keep more of a tradition sense of things. So like even though like say you were Pharaoh and I didn't like you and I overthrew you, I'd still keep your history.
They had honor.
Yeah, that's more what I'm pointed towards. Like, say Caesar and all them, like, as they were talking about somebody from Rome would have been the one to burn down the Great Alexandrian Library, which I would highly doubt because most people that came from the Caesar family and bloodline, they were historians. Even the ones that really weren't
But,
worth the,
as I said though,
they kept history though.
history's wrote by the victor. So for me to make my history work, let's say I won, I overthrew Egypt. For my history to make sense that I was the one who did it because I'm the greatest that could ever be, I'd have to get rid of your history to say you did it because then it makes me look like a bullshit. I would wipe your history from existence and replace it with what I wanted to put. I built the pyramids. You want to know how I did it? I'm just too clever. You're never going to be this good at ever be able to
That
build them
actually
yourself.
does. That sounds about like what we would know, or cliche, what we would think Egyptians would be like. But honestly, if I don't think it was the way most people like think it was, because in Egypt, even like after war times, man, it was just flourishing with grain and all that shit, farmlands. So they were able to pick up a lot after, but I don't know,
What's weird is
something in history got fucked.
Egypt was ahead. Egyptians were ahead of everybody, but they weren't. And here's my theory: Atlantis was supposed to be the most advanced civilization of its time. Yeah, always ahead of everybody. It disappeared. Did it disappear or did it relocate? Did they move for better? Because everyone thinks the Egyptians are super smart, but the stories of Atlantis make them look stupid and dumb.
Maybe some people like take the pride in thinking that you think that I'm dumb because
No, I'm not saying they thought everybody else was dumb, but in perspective, people in Atlantis, if it was real, it probably was. A lot of people wrote about it.
no, what I'm saying
They come
is
across
like
smart.
no, what I was trying to say is like it's not that you think I'm dumb. It's just maybe I want you to think I'm dumb so I can hide what like how smart and what we really have right here in front of your face.
Yeah, but
Hiding in plain sight, bro.
what I'm saying is, it, Egyptians didn't want people to think they were dumb. What I'm saying is, the people from Atlantis could have taken it as their history. So what I'm saying is, did Egypt take Atlantis as their history when in reality they just relocated but didn't want people to know because they were just as advanced. They were building weird structures that we have no idea how the fuck they did it. Right now, I couldn't build a pyramid without machinery. I'd need big fuck off cranes, excavators, everything. People in Atlantis had rings, water, earth, and that's how they kept it going. Big meeting places, lots of people flourishing, kind of like Egypt did, and then had no history. Half of Egypt's history's gone. Atlantis history gone. Is it the same history? We just got them in the wrong place or the wrong way round.
I mean, if that's the case, then you'd have to put the ancient Sumerians in there at the same time because they did relocate, and I don't really remember what happened to the ancient Sumerians. I don't remember if like I don't even think we have that much evidence to know what happened to
No,
them.
because they lost the war and their history was removed. The same way we're trying to do now. We're trying to do this right now. We're trying to remove history of bad people, people who were involved in the slave trade and things like that. We're trying to remove that history now because it's bad. So maybe this has been going on way longer than we've realized, and we've always tried to cut the bad out. Like, if I'm telling you a story about how I beat 10 people and won a fight, I'm not going to tell you about the 20 times they beat the shit out of me, am I? Because that'd make me look bad. I'll tell you the only times I beat them.
Yeah, pretty much.
It's true, innit? In a fight, you only
Yeah.
want to see who the winner is. The loser, sorry, but you lost. Right, back to the winner. You don't care about who lost. We only focus on people who are victorious because they're powerful, they're successful. We're doing it now. We're removing bad history now, which we shouldn't. History we should learn from. We shouldn't remove bad history. People who used to have slaves were bad people, but we shouldn't remove them from history. We should use them as an example. Don't go back to this. Instead of removing it, use it as a point of reference. Don't fuck up like they did. Do better. You can't learn from things if they're removed. In school, if you weren't taught about the war, you wouldn't know it happened. We don't teach it because we want that to happen again and we're glorifying it. We're teaching it because it happened. We need to learn from it. In Germany, they teach World War II and how they lost the war. They don't try and glorify that they were doing well, they were going to win. They're honest with it. We lost the war. It was fucked up. Shouldn't have happened. A lot of people died that shouldn't have died. Innocent people were killed. Shouldn't have happened. They teach it so people learn not to do it again. The problem is,
I've always honestly been curious about how they actually taught history in Germany.
so they teach it that the wars happened. Hitler's a cunt. A lot of innocent people died. Never do this again. It's not good. It's stupid. Why do it? We lost the war. We accept responsibility that we lost. We're not going to shy away that we lost. We learn from it. We don't do that again. which is the right way to teach it. In the UK, you're taught we went to war, Germany got fucked, fuck Germany, now we're here. Instead of teaching it how it was, which every country is responsible for. Nobody wants to point out, yo, we fucked up, but shh, we won't tell anybody. We were the best. You know, it's true. If
Oh
a,
yeah, big time.
if America just won a war but lost loads of people, they're not gonna be like, yo, they almost fucked us up. They'll be like, nah, that was easy war. We fucked them, dude. We put them in their place. We were better than them. They were never gonna win, even if they only just won it. Even if they were so close to being wiped out, they'd be like, nah, easy. We fucking nailed it.
That does sound about right.
Yeah,
Easy clap all around.
because no one wants to make themselves look bad. Someone's not going to tell you, "Oh, the other day, dude, I fucked up. This happened. But there's something good happened. They'll be like, let's just tell them the good bit that happened. I won the lottery. I won't tell you about the two people I run over in my car on the way to get the ticket. I won the lottery. Because everyone wants to look good. Countries are worse for it. How many countries do you know that are honest? We're both living in a country that's not honest. I live in the UK. Most of our history, we stole from every other fucking country and made it ours. We're not honest. Are America honest?
Mm.
If you're,
As a representative of America, I'd rather not get into this conversation.
as a representative of a fucked up country, America are not honest. They've never been honest. They never will be. They have a government. They
Oh,
can't be honest.
oh,
You think
what
America
do you
are honest
mean?
to you, dude? You think all this shit that happens every year could be avoided? Of course it could. We can avoid most of the shit that's happened throughout history. Working together.
I mean, what are you gonna do at the end of the day? You know what I mean?
Well, what I'm going to do at the end of the day is just, well, where I live, we're just going to steal more history and say it's ours. So, victor goes the spoils. Shows how victorious countries were. Which Egypt clearly wasn't very victorious because everyone's got their shit in their country instead. We probably got more of the Egyptian artifacts outside of Egypt than they do in Egypt. Egypt clearly weren't a victor if there was a war.
I don't think that all that came from a war, though. Like all the artifacts that the British had was brought by Howard Carter
Yeah, but they
with
were
the
still
foundation.
stolen, weren't they? We still had the power to just take what we wanted.
Mm,
They're not just going to
I
happily say
mean,
this is you can take
okay,
it.
hold
Well
on.
done.
Let me defend like Howard Carter's honor right quick. It's not stolen. Excuse me.
It's borrowed.
It's for science purposes.
Yeah, so we flexed our muscles and said we're better than you. You can't stop us. We're taking it.
You left a little bit of it.
Yeah,
Y'all know what's up.
which has happened throughout time, no matter what country. Every
And
country is
what's
responsible. But Egypt, I feel sorry for Egypt. We all steal from them and act like
yeah,
we're better
dude.
than them. It's all their shit. Give it back.
As much as I joke around, it is fucked up that happened. And like I've always wondered why like they never gave any back, but come to find out, a lot of it was given back to Egypt. Just a lot of the shit that Howard Carter claimed himself uh, stays where his foundation was. I don't know if you call it a foundation
But this is what
or
I'm
like
saying,
I'm
though.
not sure what to call it.
History's wrote by the victor. This is why Egypt has so much missing history. They were super smart people. They built the pyramids, built the pharaoh's tomb. Why were they no good at warfare? You'd think they're smarter than everybody else because they can
I
build this shit. We
mean,
couldn't build it. They could. How are they not strategic in
through
defense?
through some of their bloodlines and dynasties, yes, they did have good armies. It did have good armies, and they were able to defend Egypt and make trade deals with like other higher powers. But
Yeah,
I do
yeah,
not
but I'm
know.
on about as a whole. Egypt was clearly more advanced than Europeans were. They were building shit way before we could.
Yeah,
How were the dumber people able to just overthrow them and take what they want? You'd think having that extra brain power, knowing how to build these amazing structures, they could build defensive walls. They could have people watching. How comes we were just able to pretty much, like you could walk into a store, you can see everything there, you can grab it and run. Whether you're successful at getting away or not, it's a different thing. But it was like it was there for the taking and no one stopped them. Like I'm having that. I'll see you later. No one really stopped them or couldn't stop them. But why? They were advanced. They clearly knew shit we didn't. Look at the hieroglyphs.
maybe they knew there was something more in value of like you. having that shit. I don't know. Maybe they seen more like, all right, well, you got this artifact. Now you can go tell my history to where you come from. I mean, clearly you don't know like anything about it. You're reading, you're learning all that shit. Learn together. Learn my history.
But at the
This is the same
time,
reason why we can't like really put their language together.
yeah, but if I came to your house and stole all your shit, you wouldn't be like, now you can learn about me. You'd be like, what the fuck is this piece of shit doing? Because at the time, they didn't see it as history. It was now. It was present.
Yeah, I mean, yeah,
You wouldn't just
but
let people walk in and take what they want.
it was a totally different time then,
Yeah, where thieves had their hands cut off and shit.
and
What?
shit was properly dealt with.
Why couldn't they stop people stealing shit? Which makes me
That comes
think,
down to human greed,
but
though.
was the
That's a whole
pyramids
nother
built
subject.
and abandoned? Did something make them leave and that's why it's so easy to take? They left and never came back.
I was watching something to where they were saying that there was one pyramid that was made. I don't remember exactly where it was. It had these weird, like one of a kind stones in it, and it was done over like two dynasties. Well, I say dynasties. I forgot what they would call their bloodlines, but they were weird. Like it was done through two pharaohs, and like I don't remember what they were trying to explain, but they were talking about there was just no way in hell that shit happened alone.
But it had to.
Like they had to have help either by other civilizations or somewhere else, which in led lined me up to find the paleo contact shit with the ancient astronauts.
But
The place that
did
I'm
they have help
specifically
though?
talking about. What's that?
They might not have had help. That's the problem.
Um,
Because we don't know, there's always
the
the option they
specific
didn't have help.
the specific spot I'm talking about though, like it has like a symbol on it that I don't remember, but it they're saying it was one of the places where they would come and land. It's just big enough to where theoretically a spacecraft could get in and land, and it's like a perfect place.
But then the question comes, why? Why would they do that? Like an alien race is. Why would an alien race get you to build something that has no mechanical use?
I don't know, maybe it was a meeting spot.
Yeah, but why? Why out of stone? Wouldn't it have a place for you to get resources from? You've just traveled through space. You need fuel.
Maybe their fuel isn't what we would expect it to be.
But it had to
It's
be
not food.
combustible fuel. That's the
Maybe.
weird part. Well, it doesn't have to be. They could have, like nuclear reactors, generators, things like that. But stone wouldn't be a good fuel type. You can't. You burn stone, it turns to molten liquid. You leave it, it solidifies again with slightly less mass because you just burnt some of it off. It's weird. What would they? Why would they have a meeting point made of stone with no? Okay, it points to certain directions, but it doesn't really give you an exact map of where you'd be. Because why would the meeting point be Earth when there's Mars? Mars is desolate. We can be in secret when we land here. Why would it be somewhere that people they know people are taking inscriptions, they're writing things down, they're drawing it? Why would they do it to a civilization that can understand how to keep a record?
See, therein lies another thing that I'd like to point out about Star Trek. My grandmother, when I was growing up, used to love it like constantly. Like it was either Star Wars or Star Trek, so I was always around it. I'm not like the biggest fan of it, but like growing up, watching that shit and like being old enough to realize like where their theories come from. So one of the theories is the episodes, and I just looked it up to back it up. What they do is they go hide on the planet and they keep eye on everything, like the resources, the wars, all that shit, and like they report obviously back to a higher up, but they just keep a watch on everything until they think it's time to do first contact. Because
Which,
like of different circumstances, like they tried it in a different way and it didn't end out well, and then they tried it another certain way, and then eventually they found like easing into their societies was the easiest way to break it to him like, hey, yeah, like this is first contact. We're alien.
Yeah, so but that brings up another problem though. We wouldn't have been ready because we don't understand it now. We're the most advanced we've ever been with technology. I can call anybody around the world off my phone. I couldn't do that 200 years ago. It wouldn't have been in my pocket. Why would they ease it? It'd be like it'd be like me giving you a nuclear reactor and say, fix that. We wouldn't have a clue. That's not our job.
Hell no.
You'd blow yourself up and kill yourself before you even got close to working it out. Same as everybody else who's not a nuclear physicist. If you gave me a nuclear reactor, the first thing I'm doing is probably gonna kick it to see what noise it makes. I ain't got a fucking clue.
I do what the dude from Armageddon did and just hit it with a damn hammer until it starts working.
Or even engineers. You could be a civil engineer. You could build the best fucking buildings. I'll give you a nuclear reactor. Your brain's like, I ain't got a fucking clue, dude. Just hope for the best. Plug it, turn it off, back on again, maybe. That's as far as we're gonna get. So if they're bringing spaceships to a civilization they know can keep a record, they can make drawings, they can talk about it. You'd think, one, it'd be explained more. We'd understand why they're here, when they got here, where they came from. If they're easing in, they'd give us some sort of information back. I wouldn't come to your house not knowing who you are, not introduce myself, and just be like, look at my phone, dude. Look at what I've got on here. It'd be weird, wouldn't it? You'd be like, that makes no fucking sense. You'd think they'd explain a bit more, because it wouldn't make
You say
sense.
that, but man, like it comes down to like noticing things in the world that I guess some people don't realize. Um, there are some people out there that are very fucking like people person, wants to be up like right in your face talking about everything, and
Yeah, but I'm
then
on about
there's those.
civilizations, though. It'd be different, wouldn't it?
It would, but I'm not. I'm thinking that's what I'm saying. Like, what if like there was a civilization that was like just all out there, want everybody to know everything, but then there's those fucking hidden ones.
You
It's
mean
like
like them women on Facebook who tell their story every 5 minutes? It's true. But if you went to another planet, would your first thing be, let's talk to these people, or would it be, I wonder if they can kill me?
it'd probably be my self defense first, mainly because
You'd think they're gonna kill you. You're an alien. You don't belong here.
what do you think?
There could be four of you in that spaceship. That's four against a whole species of angry motherfuckers who are known to fight for no reason. You'd be very hesitant.
It'd be the same as you walking up on a snake. Like you don't know if that motherfucker's gonna bite you or kill you. You don't know what's going on.
Or me personally, I'd grab its head. I know about snakes. But
See, not a lot of people do that though. Like, see, not a lot. A lot of people's basic instinct is to freeze up or that fight or flight immediately.
yeah, but the difference is let's say there's 8 of us looking at this snake now. We've outnumbered that snake. Our chance of survival have just skyrocketed. There's more of us than that. If it bites one of us, the rest of us can kill it. That's how the alien would think. Because let's say there's 4 of them in their spaceship, they come here, just 4 of them, and there's 1.4 billion humans looking at them thinking, easy prey. I can kill you. Snap my fingers, you're dead. You kill one of us, we're all going to kill you. You got no chance. Why would they come in such small numbers? You think if aliens are coming, there'd be a fuck ton of them, hundreds of thousands, for safety. If we were going to go to another planet, it wouldn't be just 2 of us landing there going, let's say hello to the locals. You'd be like, fuck, we are outnumbered. We have no idea how strong they are, how smart they are, how quick they are. They're probably going to kill us. Let's not get out the spaceship. Let's stay here where it's a bit safer. We can fuck off at any point. You're
Yeah, but what if
outnumbered.
you need direct? What if you need directions?
You better hope there's a global sat nav that takes you around the galaxy. You would not get out for shit. You are
Still waiting
outnumbered.
on. Still waiting on my call from Elon Musk
I
to
mean,
get my job.
I don't think that'll happen.
I don't think it either. He just needs to know I finished No Man's Sky. Like
Elon Musk isn't that smart either.
just now.
He bit,
He reminds me of Zorg from The Fifth Element now.
I don't know what that is. I don't watch movies, which upsets you every day. I know. But Elon Musk isn't
Except for
smart.
that one.
He has some level of intelligence because he surrounds himself with smart people to make himself look smart. But I don't think he's smart. He keeps saying dumb shit like, I don't know if he does it to piss people off or because he thinks he's funny. Which Elon Musk, if you ever hear this, you're not funny, you're not smart. He's saying aliens built the pyramids and shit. Saying shit like that doesn't make you smart. You just look stupid. No, you could be the
They
most,
said
but you could be the most
that aliens
intelligent
are
person.
pyramids.
Yeah, he did it on Twitter, dude. I used to follow him on Twitter because I used to just read the batshit crazy shit he'd say. But that doesn't make you smart. It makes you look stupid. Even if you are smart, he could be the smartest man on the planet and hiding it well. But now you've said aliens built the pyramids and stuff like that. My disbelief in you grows, so I'm not going to trust something else you say. You could say something factual, and I'd be like, he's probably full of shit. Why am I listening
They
to this
never
idiot?
said that.
I mean, he came from PayPal, dude. That's not a degree in space. You don't know shit, do you? You made a payment service, which wasn't very secure or very well built. It's still broken now. Just surrounding yourself with smart people doesn't make you smart. It gives you some level of intelligence because you know the difference between they're smarter than me, I need them with me. There's a difference. It doesn't make you smart. I could have the smartest man behind me telling me what to say, and I'd sound smart. But I don't know shit. He could be full of talking bullshit, and I'm just repeating it because he's a smart person and I think he's right. Doesn't make you smart. Makes you susceptible. Like you think Bigfoot's real because you look like Bigfoot. You know, it could be your long lost brother. Who knows? You
I
kind of,
don't think Bigfoot's real at all.
but you look like him.
How do I look like Bigfoot?
If we went out into the woods and I had a camera and I got you to run across some trees and I captured that as captured Bigfoot, dude, the news would be there in seconds because you look like Bigfoot.
Your logic is flawed.
It's not you look like Bigfoot. You're a big, hairy looking man who's quite short but quite big in stature, we'll say. You look like Bigfoot. You could be Bigfoot's kid. Who knows?
Maybe you should grow a beard.
I tried, but the difference is I don't like looking homeless. You know, one of us has got to look good. You didn't even do your makeup before we started, so clearly I won the look contest.
Thank you.
We could get onto your probe story, but you don't want to talk about it.
I don't know what your fascination with alien probes are.
Because
Like,
it's funny. If you think about it, yeah, if you went to a planet, why would you probe somebody? What can you get? Their temperature? See if they got a fever?
maybe they're just trying to like track them, just be like what their diet is on all that shit. I don't know why somebody would need to be
Dude,
probed.
do you think the aliens are fucking with people? Let's say they're coming here. We're paranoid that aliens are here. So they just pull out the probe just to fuck with us. It does nothing, dude. It's just a stick, and they're just shoving it in people's asses to make them shut up. They're freaking out. You're an alien. Just put
Honestly,
a stick in his ass. It'll shut him up.
honestly, it'd be like if me and you were the alien that coming across people just joking with people. I would take it to a certain extent, and then the other one would take it like a
Yeah.
little further than it
It'd
should
be like
be.
I have to one up you every time you one up me.
Yeah,
It eventually
that's
comes to
probably what it is.
let's just finger some asses. That's what it'll come down to. Because
I'm not about that.
as an
I'm not a
alien, you
fan of
would
that.
be. Because it'd be funny. You could fuck with
As
people.
an alien, I would not
You would finger
put
somebody.
things
You'd put
put
your
things
finger in
up
their
there.
ass just to
No,
probe them, just to freak them out. Because imagine, yeah, you're doing research on this human and he's trying to fight you, and you know they're paranoid about the probing situation. You're just like, well, I know how to calm this motherfucker down. We got no gloves? Raw dog time. You just finger it, dude.
how is that supposed to calm somebody down?
Well, that's how you stop a dog from
And
attacking somebody. You should put a finger in its ass, so it might work with humans. I saw that on the dog whisperer. It's probably true. That's how you'd calm somebody down. Like if a dog's biting you, dude, you just put your finger in its ass. It freaks them out. You've got a dog. Try it.
no, I am not violating my dog.
Your dog could fuck you up.
You no,
What? So aliens, do you think they're real? Your mic cut out. Try again.
I said yeah. I mean, why not?
It'd be stupid to say no. Think about planets out there, dude. And we keep saying, oh, they need to be in the habitable zone. Why do they? They could have evolved differently. They could have evolved with water that's acid instead. Doesn't have to follow our evolution pattern. The aliens are
That's what
real.
people are afraid of, I guess.
Yeah, imagine it, dude. An alien could just be like a 40-foot spider. I know you don't like spiders, that's why I used the spider. It could be a 40-foot spider with massive fangs, just waiting, dude. It spins a web as
Well,
a spaceship, dude. Imagine that
well,
a 40-foot spider just crawling over your house, dude. And it's an alien. What do you do?
No space travel for me.
I don't think that was high up for you anyway, to be honest.
I don't think it was either, but that makes like the nail on the head right there. I
But it
can't.
could be anything, couldn't it? An alien doesn't have to have 2 legs, 2 arms, and a head. You could have 6
Not
heads.
really. You know, they were saying that octopus.
They're weird. I don't trust them.
Somebody said that they were alien or something. Like they had like weird DNA or genetics or something.
But it's true, dude. I don't trust octopuses. Do you know what? They can squeeze, you know, like a drink bowl. They can squeeze their whole body through that, dude. I can't even get my finger in a drink bowl. I've got fat hands. How can they squeeze their whole body through it? And did you know their testicles are in their head? I don't know why I know this fact, but it's an interesting
Did
one.
not know that. They look weird as fuck, honestly. And
Well,
evidently, like you were saying, bro, they're smart as fuck.
they
If
don't
they
make
did that,
sense, do they?
no.
Living in the ocean and they don't have fins to swim. They have legs with no bones. Why do they need to squeeze through such small holes? Dude, they should work. The amount of holes they can squeeze through, they should work for airport security. We should give them a job. They could find anything you got hidden in your cracks.
I guess this is why we have the basic idea of aliens looking all weird and shit because people compare stuff like octopus to aliens, like the whole tentacles, the big heads, the eyes.
Well, the octopus
If
makes
in,
sense from what we have on our planet to look at. That could be an alien because it doesn't look like anything else. A cat looks quite like a dog. Horse quite looks like a donkey. Humans, we look like apes. Octopus looks like. Wait, no, just octopus. It's weird. Like, why don't they have bones? They're in the ocean. Why don't they have fins? Why do they have active camo? Why can they change the way they look to blend in? Why do you need that as an octopus? Why why don't you have a skeletal structure? How do you support yourself without having any bones for your muscles to attach to? Kind of weird.
evidently it's like a big fucking thing. There's like a whole conspiracy like world out there with octopuses.
Well, there's weird symbols of octopuses around history as well. They've always been seen as this weird thing. They still are now. They just don't make sense. Have you seen them walk out of water as well?
Yeah, I have. I was watching a video a second ago of one, but it was, uh, I guess you could say it was the tide was going down, if you know what I mean.
Tide goes out, it
It
comes up,
was
yeah.
like it was kind of hunting or something. I
But
would
it's
say.
it's weird that they can walk on land and swim in exactly the same way. They don't change how they do it. Like when we swim, we don't try and stay upright. We flatten out to float. They do exactly the same in the water, out the water. And there's all these stories of spaceships going into the ocean. Yeah, for the octopus, dude. The octopus are aliens. What a great way to hide as well as an octopus in the water. I'm not going to go swimming that deep to find a colony of them in an underground base. Are you? No, sharks will
Not
fuck us up.
really, but what also makes it fucked up is people do eat octopuses.
I've eaten
So
octopus. I've eaten squid as well. Both taste quite nice. Don't cook it too long because it goes robbery. It's nice. But as humans, we eat everything, dude. Some humans eat humans. We're not picky, let's be honest. You are because you eat pizza for 8 meals a day. And that's all you eat is pizza. Every time you eat is pizza. What did you have yesterday to eat? What did you have yesterday to eat?
what?
What did you have yesterday to eat?
Oh, I don't think I ate yesterday.
You did. You ate pizza, you fat fuck.
And how did I get that pizza?
Delivered to you probably. Domino's.
You know how I got that pizza?
By eating loads of pizza to get a free pizza.
No, Jason sent 20 on the Cash App.
Well, there you go. You still had pizza though.
I never said that.
Dude, you said you didn't have anything to eat, so you know. So octopus are aliens, yeah.
Yeah, it's a possibility.
Do you believe that octopus that predicted the World Cup? You probably don't even know the story.
No, I remember it, but I'm pretty sure they probably enticed that shit somehow.
Yeah, but it predicted it before the game started. So let's say there was a game, England versus Germany, and it picks Germany. England could still win that football game. But it was always right. And then they ate it after it got one wrong. It was kind of funny. Tasty snack, I guess. But they're smart. But don't you think all things in the ocean are smarter than us?
I mean, how would we know? They won't look and see.
Well, dolphins, they're way smarter than we'll ever be. Octopus have spacecraft because they're definitely aliens. Smarter than us. You look like Bigfoot and the octopus is flying a spaceship, you know. Which is the smarter one now? No? You don't agree?
No.
You kind of do because you smirked. So, you know, I'm ahead. Right, you got any more about aliens, Hades?
Um,
Any more stories for us?
no, we pretty much covered everything.
So before we end, do you want to talk about your probe story, or are we saving that for like a bonus feature? Bonus feature? Or you want to talk about it now?
Didn't get probed.
Right, bonus feature it is. We'll put a link to Hades' Patreon at the bottom, and he'll tell you about his probing story. I think he has pictures as well. Bit weird. He sent me them the other day.
There are no pictures.
You got any more then?
Happened. No.
Any more? You done?
We should be good.
How often do you want to do this? We aiming for once a month?
Uh,
Because that gives us time to research. Because we're both streamers as well.
yeah, maybe once a month.
Sounds
Twice,
good.
depending on.
If anything comes up in the news.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. We'll catch everybody next time then. Don't forget to say goodbye, Hades. Give us
Later.
a wave. Come on, give us a wave. That's close enough.